Operation Riptide was released in September of 2021, more than 3 years ago since we got the last official real operation in Counter-Strike, obviously with the Armory update being similar to an operation in some ways, but more along the lines of a standard battle pass that we would see from most games in like modern gaming in this modern era. But we haven't seen a real operation, like I said, in almost 3 years. And is this the last operation we are ever going to see? Is it possible that Valve has done away with operations altogether? I am Jerm, a CS2 collector, investor, and cash trader. And in this video today, we're going to be talking about if we might never see operations return or might never see an operation period in Counter-Strike 2 and what that could mean and how we would feel about that. But first, just want to mention my cash trading business. If you guys are looking to sell any of your CS2 items, turn them into cold hard cash, crypto, or any other payment method, definitely hit me up over on Twitter. We're buying pretty much anything and everything for the right price. Mostly, we'd like to get a little bit higher end stuff. You guys have any knives, gloves, skins, whatever that you're looking to cash out to get money instantly for IRL stuff, or maybe just to switch up your portfolio or whatever, hit me up. We can probably get a deal done, and you're helping support me, my channel, and my content. With that being said, let's get right into this today. So, I was watching this random like Jesus video. I think it was like a gallery case opening or something like that. And obviously, tons of people are talking about the Armory items and gallery cases and all this different stuff right now. You know, the Armory update has been this absolutely massive thing for CS2, a big talk. The biggest update we've gotten all CS2 so far. Obviously, like the update where we got the kilowatt case and all the crafting stuff, that was pretty big, but the Armory seems to be the biggest update we've gotten so far, and the biggest change to maybe the future of Counter-Strike as well. And now that we're hearing that the Armory update is permanent, that gets more and more people talking about that. So again, in this Jesus video, they're doing this gallery case opening. They have a bunch of people on the call, guys like Anomaly and Arrow and some of these other people. And one of the things they were throwing out there is like, hey, do you guys think that the Armory is going to replace operations? Do we think operations are gone altogether? And then I also saw, Anomaly posted his own video of this idea on like Anomaly Clips. CS2 just ended operations, no more operations. And then I think Petrie NA, I think in this video, Will Valve Destroy Your Armory Investments? He talked about that idea as well. And there are some mixed opinions about this, whether or not we will see operations in CS2. And the argument there is that the Armory has so much content in it. Again, we got 3 collections. We got a new case. So we really have 4 collections, 4 new weapon collections. We got 2 sets of stickers. We got 2 sets of charms, like an entirely new item. Now, obviously, the only thing we didn't get inside the Armory was stuff like new content, new game modes, new maps, all that stuff that might oftentimes come along with a new operation. Obviously, we can run through Operation Riptide real quick. Operation Riptide did have the mission coins. It had missions. They added this private queue. They added players private queue and Steam group private queue. They added obviously the reward system with stars and stuff like that we see now. Agents, Riptide case, a bunch of collections. So they had 4 collections and a case, and then a patches and 2 stickers. So again, a lot of content coming out all at once, but that's very similar to the amount of content we saw in the Armory update. So in the Armory update, we got like a Desert Eagle heat treat and stuff as well. But then we saw new mission types. The missions, we saw new ways to play. We saw the riot shields, short matches, free-for-all deathmatch, team deathmatch, droppable grenades, more maps featured. So again, we got tons of awesome rewards like we have right now in Armory, but we got new maps, we got some of those other game modes and stuff like that. And obviously that's not what we've gotten in Armory, but the argument there is there any way, and is it even possible for Valve to potentially support the Armory and operations at the same time? Because again, the operations, they have 3, 4, 5 new collections. They have new agents, patches, all that stuff. Are they going to do that and the Armory at the same time? Because the idea is also that the Armory is probably going to rotate out these items every once in a while. Again, we already know that the Desert Eagle heat treated is limited to like 3 months, but then these items aren't going to last in the Armory forever, right? Over past 2024 collection, that's not going to stay in here forever. These charms, these stickers, like these items are most likely going to be rotated out. Now, we don't know how long that's going to be, whether it's going to be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, more than a year, whatever. But if Valve is going to continue putting this much new content into the Armory, is it even possible for them to release enough content? And would it even make sense? Would that be too much content, too many skins, too many cases and stuff at that point? Because that's a lot, and would that be too much work? So there are some people who genuinely believe at this point, and I'm kind of leaning that direction as well, that it is possible we will not see operations at any point in CS2. And again, you have to remember that is possible because CS2 is a new era. It's a new chapter. It is its own game. This is not CSGO 2. This is not CSGO Part 2. This is Counter-Strike 2. This is its own new thing. And the part of this was to continue to add to the legacy and the longevity of Counter-Strike and to continue this on. And they want to make improvements. They want to try new things. They want to carve their own path. Just because we had this operation system previously, maybe Valve feels that this Armory system is better. And maybe when they have new things to put out, like new game modes or new ways to play or new maps or whatever, that they can just sprinkle that in every once in a while. Or maybe they want to give us, more consistent updates, like every month or every 2 months. Maybe we get a new game mode. Maybe we get some new gameplay updates or whatever. Maybe they don't want to tie all of that stuff in at once altogether, because obviously an operation was a lot of work, and the Armory update itself, it seems like it was a lot of work as well. But they do now have this system, this battle pass system, where they can get players to keep buying passes and keep rotating items out of here, and it starts to make a lot of sense. And again, it overlaps a ton with the new operation. Now, there are also some people saying, oh, operations are so iconic at this point. Operations mean so much to Counter-Strike. Like, there's no way they would just get rid of operations altogether. Maybe Valve will try to balance these two. Like once the Armory items start to get a little bit stale, maybe then we'll see an operation, then we'll see a new Armory update, and then they'll kind of rotate that back and forth. I don't know. To me, that seems like way, way, way too much. The other argument is, hey, maybe these items are just going to stay in the Armory forever, and the next time we get new stuff, it will be, an operation. But I don't really believe in that. I do think I'm very, very confident that the items are going to be rotated out of the Armory store, because otherwise it kind of defeats the purpose. Because if people do think that the Armory items and the Armory content starts to get a little bit stale, they'll stop purchasing the Armory passes. And obviously Valve, that's the only way they're making money off this Armory stuff, is getting people to purchase Armory passes and get them to actually play the game. So yeah, I don't really see that happening. But I did think that this was a very, very interesting discussion. I definitely wanted to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on this, whether you thought that operations were still going to be coming to CS2, and whether or not this would be a good decision. Because like I said, people really, really like the operations. People love that there are these big moments, these big events, and it was a cool way, obviously, to get people playing the game. New operation would come out, it would be this new big influx of players, but maybe Valve wants just more consistent growth over time. They don't want it to have it centered around this big moments, and maybe they already have so much big stuff going on. We have operations all the time. We're getting these big updates from Valve as well, and then trying to fit in operations. Maybe it starts to be this little bit of a tight schedule. Maybe it's just easier. Maybe it's better. Maybe they think they can make more money by just focusing on the Armory and putting out gameplay updates when they're ready. I don't really know, but this whole discussion does really, really fascinate me, and I thought it's become very interesting, and I'm sure that'll be very, very polarizing, and there's going to be people on both sides of it for sure. People are going to miss operations, people who have loved operations, people who have thought, this is a new thing, we need to make a change, we need to go on. Some people, I'm sure, like the Armory for different reasons, but a big thing of how this goes into the future is what they actually decide to do with Armory. Now, if Armory ends up being this awesome thing where we get really cool items more frequently, or, it ends up being this great way, and then Valve continues to make great gameplay changes, people probably won't miss operations too much, and it'll probably be fine. But if the Armory ends up getting really stale, the Armory ends up being shit, and then we also don't get operations, and we also don't get big updates to the game and changes like that, then it could just end up being a disaster. And the biggest thing here is, just because Valve has this plan right now of maybe, hey, we love the Armory, we think the Armory is the future, whatever, that doesn't mean Valve couldn't pivot later on if the Armory doesn't end up being as big of a success as they think it will be and want it to, or whatever. But I don't know. I've seen this discussion going on in a couple different places right now. I know I think it sounds like Anomaly is on the side of he thinks operations will actually not come to CS2. Obviously, Anomaly's a guy who's very, very, I'm not saying he has like inside information or is leaking anything, but I'm saying he's a guy who, has lived and breathed and been in this Counter-Strike scene for so long, and that's kind of where he's leaning. So there might be something to that in the end, but I don't know. And I don't know how people are going to feel about this, but just at least consider the fact that it is possible that operations are dead and gone forever, and that maybe Operation Riptide was the last operation we're ever going to see in Counter-Strike history, which would be pretty crazy to me. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hope I catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.